Well, what's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and I got a little request video to share for you guys today. Now, if you haven't already checked it out by now, today was the day that I officially uploaded my Season 3 finale of my Versus series, and so far it has actually been going pretty well. A lot of people have enjoyed it, some people have kind of criticized it, which is kind of what I was expecting, but overall, I think most people are satisfied with the final product that I was able to put up and after working on it for so long. So I want to thank all the guys that actually checked out the video and liked it. But now we got to start moving forward towards the future and thinking up matches for Season 4. However, here's my issue. After doing these matches for so long, I'm kind of starting to run out of ideas for possible matches that I could put together. However, that is where you guys come in, because a lot of you guys have really come up with a lot of really unique ideas for future matchups that I could use for Season 4. And as it stands right now, I've only come up with about 4 matchups of my own, so I need 8 more. And I want to just throw in a couple of guidelines in terms of the type of matches that you guys would like to see, because there are specific rules I like to follow in order to keep the matchups as even and as balanced as possible. So the first rule, if you're going to send in a request for a versus matches idea, is that both characters have to be part of the same franchise. And I know that I just uploaded Dante versus Sephiroth, and that's obviously Devil May Cry versus Final Fantasy, but the thing is that I only like to do those type of matchups for season finales because it is a lot harder to do characters that are from different franchises, because there's different rules and different points of view and there's different specs, and it is a lot harder to put one of those matchups together than just simply take 2 characters from the same franchise. Because by picking 2 characters from the same franchise, there are certain guidelines and rules that I can follow so that to make sure the match is as balanced as possible. So that is rule number 1. Rule number 2 is that these characters have never officially met. This is important because if you're going to have 2 characters go at it, it would be nice if they didn't know any prior knowledge on the other opponent. Because if that were the case, then obviously one character would be more prepared, and therefore they could kind of adapt their tactics, because then they wouldn't know what to expect. So by having 2 characters that have never met, it makes it very, very balanced, because then both characters would simply have to perform and basically plan out their moves and strategies on the fly. And I think that adds for a much more suspenseful matchup. And number 3, which in my opinion is the most important one, because I know some people like to mix them up, is that both characters have to somewhat be similar in terms of their combat styles. And what I mean by that is in terms of primarily their weaponry, which means I don't want somebody that likes using a sword or an axe or a melee weapon against someone that uses a gun. If you're gonna use like someone who has a melee weapon, pick another person with another melee weapon. You want someone with a gun, have someone who has a long range weapon. By having those type of matchups, it kind of, again, makes it a much more balanced contest. And those are really the primary 3 rules. I would also suggest that don't try to throw in your ideas for like mix-up matches, because that's more of a death battle thing, and I've already picked out what I would want to do for my Season 4 finale. And just to give you guys a quick heads up, the way I'm going to structure doing these Versus Series matchups is that I'm going to be sure to do 1 matchup every month. Chances are it's going to come out on the last week of each month, which means that the 3rd week is basically just researching, scripting, recording, and then the final week of the month is when I'm going to start, editing together, getting all the footage and pieces of evidence I need, putting them together, and then have the video up the final week of the month. So pretty much that is the rules and guidelines if you want to send in a request for a Versus Series matchup. Oh, and one more piece of advice. If you want a better chance of having your Versus Series matchup picked, it would be best if you pick a franchise that I've already used. Because if you pick a franchise for or a character from something I've never played before, it takes considerably longer. I made the mistake of doing that with my Steiner versus Gladios matchup, And Steiner was really the first character in my Versus series that I had ever done in which I virtually knew nothing about the character going in, and therefore it took much longer. So if you pick a character within a franchise that I have used, chances are I might know them a bit better, and that'll make the whole researching and scripting part of planning these matches a lot faster. So that's pretty much all I want to say. If you kind of like this little request video for you to like, comment down below with your Versus series ideas, and if I happen to pick yours, I will be sure to give you credit and give you a shout out when that video comes out. And I'll be sure to give you guys, you know, daily updates on my Facebook and Twitter links, which are in the description down below, on how far I am in each matchup. And with that, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.